and welcome back to another daily Chelsea transfer news video where today I'll be talking about Mason Mount to United, Moise Caicedo, Christian Pulisic and all things Chelsea. So if you're new here, I'm Cam from Cam's Cobb and I do daily Chelsea transfer news videos. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the summer, so if you could subscribe, that'd help me a lot. But without further ado, let's get in the first story. Now, of course, going to Fabrizio Romano, and the breaking news last night was that Mason Mount was joined Man United. Breaking: Manchester United agree £60 million package deal for Mason Mount with Chelsea. It's done, here we go. Personal terms agreed weeks ago and face-to-face talks between clubs made it clear the agreement is done. And yeah, going on to Matt Law, who has said, if Chelsea ever pocketed that extra $5 million in add-ons, then Mason Mount's departure will not only have been an embarrassment, it will be an unmitigated disaster. Now, I suggest this means something to do with the add-on being if Man United were to, get top four or finish above Chelsea or win the league. But yeah, let me know, Chelsea fans, what you think about this deal. Of course, the last week, Man United were adamant that they weren't going to budge on the £55 million, and then they did, so that's a good move from Chelsea. Good to get not only £60 million from Man United for Mason Mount, but also 65 from Kai Havertz. To think over £125 million for two of the players who, didn't really perform that well last season is good. But yeah, that's Mason Mount. On to the next story. The story I think is going to progress rapidly once the Mason Mount deal was kind of finalised and everything is Moise Caicedo. So I'm going to go to Time Sport, who has said Chelsea are expecting to immediately divert the proceeds of Mason Mount's departure into trying to sign Brighton and Hove Albion's Moise Caicedo. Now, this was the idea. The money from Mason Mount goes straight back into a replacement in Caicedo, and the money that we got from Kai Havertz is probably the money that we played into Nkunku. Two replacements, you could say both upgrades, but we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, Caicedo, the 21-year-old Ecuadorian international, agreed personal terms weeks ago. He was ready to join us in January, but didn't. Speaking of January, Arsenal offered $70 million for Brighton, which they rejected. He then signed a new deal, so will that be more or less? Well, probably going to be more, close to the £80 million mark. Will Todd Bowley bite the bullet and $80 million? We've given so much money to Brighton recently, it's a joke. That $62 million for Cucurella is probably the worst deal we did last season or any club has ever done. But yeah, I'm going on holiday for next week, so I expect this deal to be pretty much done by the time I get back. But yeah, on from one ingoing, I'm going to go to an outgoing regarding Christian Pulisic. Now, going to Mete Morato has said, Christian Pulisic's move to AC Milan is seriously advanced. There is a total agreement with the player in the next days, probably at the beginning of the next week. The final push is expected. And the snags in this deal is what I'm going to read now. The difference between AC Milan and Chelsea is over €10 million. Milan offered €18 million with Chelsea request 28. However, Pulisic has a great chance of wearing the AC Milan shirt. I'd happily €25 million would be great. Hopefully we can compromise and meet in the middle. Anything under 20 is a bit of a joke. What did we pay for Pulisic back in the day? I think £32 million. Of course, in football you can't really say we bought him for this and sold him for that, because on that run, especially in COVID times, Pulisic really helped us to get top four and, that run to the FA Cup final. I mean, lockdown Pulisic was insane. If only he could keep that, that up. But he didn't. So yeah, one more outgoing to AC Milan with Ruben Loftus-Cheek joining that club. Good for the both of them, and for Keita Tomori, of course, at AC Milan. I think he's going to do a lot better in the Serie A, but I'd only be happy if we get around £25 million. On to the next story. Now, going back to Fabrizio Romano, and this is about Levi Colwill. Chelsea have submitted their first new contract bid to Levi Colwill. Long-term deal proposed a few days ago, as called by Nizar Cancella. Colwill will not make any decision now. He wants to speak to Pochettino after €21. Chelsea consider Levi untouchable. Now, yeah, following his great loan spell at Brighton, I thought, he's probably going to be involved in the Caicedo deal. Luckily, and hopefully, in fact, he won't be. He's valued untouchable, which is good. Cobham recently has been a bit of a shite show. We're getting rid of most of our graduates that came through under Frank Lampard, but he is, one of the best graduates to come out. I'm hoping him and Fofana could be the future for many years to come. But yeah, contract talks, hopefully they go well and we can fend off any other bids from Brighton, because they're taking the piss. They're bidding under £20 million. But finally, to a player we've signed, who I talked about 2 episodes ago, so if you want to know more about him, then go back to that. Angelo Gabriel has completed first part of medical test in Brazil. He's set to join Chelsea on deal valid until June 2029, 6-year contract. It will also include an option for a further season. 2004 born forward has said yes to Chelsea with a loan move expected in July. That loan move probably going to be going to Strasbourg, who is our pretty much feeder club at this point. It looks like we're going to be sending Malang Sarr to Strasbourg. Strasbourg, would you like our player? Todd Bowley is probably going to say yes because he pretty much owns both teams. Pretty corrupt, but what are you going to do? So following the new, Todd Bowley aesthetic, really, long 6-year deal, young player, like Andre Santos, poaching from Brazil. I think Cobham is going to be phased out. This is Todd Bowley's future, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. That is me, Cam from Cam's Cobham, and yeah, I'm going to be on holiday for the next 6 days. So when I get back, probably this time next week, hopefully Caicedo isn't done. Well, I do hope it is, but I want to break the news. Thanks for the support recently. I'm trying to get to 900 subs pretty soon, but yeah, see you next week.